Hello there, my YouTube friends. So I think we now can do the Man of Steel's General Zod unboxing and review. The box, you can see it's quite sort of a plain looking box, not much colour to it at all. The side of it is just a continuation on. Again, you maybe just make out the logo there on the back. You have all the warnings and what have you. Again, continuation of the front. Again, you can maybe just make it out. The logo's there, which actually isn't. If you look at it, it isn't quite the S from like the Superman ones because of the angle. It's not quite there. And the top, it has on it Man of Steel. And again, as per the other two boxes, this one opens out, front one's on, so you can see basically the cast and crew as they class it as, who worked on it, and you can see the actual figure, which you might not be able to see too well because of the light shining on it. That's not really helping, so well, let's just get it opened up and have a look what we get with this figure. So accessories wise, guys, you can see there is not a great deal here again as per the normal. In here, what you would have had on was his cape, but to be perfectly honest with you, the cape was already on because I got this in the second hand market, so we can get rid of that bit. So you would have had the cape to put on him. You've got, again, the dynamic flight pole, as I call it, though. Again, I don't really remember Zod doing much in the way that I know he could, because he had the same sort of powers as Superman did. You have the base, which again, just a very plain base, black base, neat. And again, you can see it's not quite the Superman logo. This must be General Zod's style logo. But again, really nice, really sort of has a good feel to it, you know, with a metal plate on the front saying Man of Steel General Zod. Yeah, so that's pretty decent. I like the way they've done those, you know, they are pretty good, and you do need that sort of size stand if you're going to do them in a dynamic flight style pose, or in a dynamic sort of floating style pose as it probably would be. Again, the actual waist grabber rather than the crotch grabber, which with this figure you probably wouldn't stand out as much because the figure itself is sort of quite dark and basically made of blacks and greys, which you will see in a moment. You know, so that's pretty good. Then we'll have, as per usual, your spare wrist pegs, which are always handy to have just in case. We have here his helmet, which I think is pretty good detail to it. So when you look at his head and then you look at this thing, you think there is no way this would fit over his head, which I suppose it probably would say that in the manual thing that you have, but I didn't get one with mine because I got it on the second hand market. So plus you can see there where the peg would fit into, so you obviously have to take his head off in order to put this one on, which would just seem a bit strange. You know, why not make them in such a size where they would fit over the head sculpts, you know, especially as I'll show you shortly just how much different the sizes are. You know, I mean, it does sort of make you beg to wonder why they made it that size when it's nowhere near the size of his head. And then of course you have a couple of sets of hands here, which again, these things, tremendous beautiful detail to them. Yeah, I mean, to look at them, I don't know what sort of you're seeing through the lens so much, but when I'm looking at them sort of with my eyes, they can almost have that metallic look, like, or die cast, you know. We know that they're not because You can see the fingers pretty much moving, and they have that sort of rubbery spring back to them, you know, the plastic spring back to them. They are really nice, really well detailed, gloved style, hands like armored style, you know, really nice. The fact that you get all of them are sort of slightly different. Yeah, he hasn't got any weapons with this one, which seems a bit strange, because I'm sure he did have a weapon, but you do have sort of these gripping hands, like he's grabbing a hold of them in different ways, so that's pretty good. Now let's get on to the figure himself for you guys and show you. And this is him, guys. Got a phenomenal presence about him, you know. It's one of the sort of the better figures when you look at the amount of detail that's gone into the figure itself, which I'll show you as we get a bit closer. You know, the amount of detail there is absolutely incredible, and it's got quite a bit of weight to it, and a lot of the stuff, it actually looks die cast, though it isn't, you know, but it does look die cast, because I mean, the prices you pay for this thing, on the whole, there's no way that could this be a die cast figure, but they damn well do look like a die cast, you know. It's a damn good job they've actually made on this figure to make it look like it's die cast. It's just absolutely beautiful, guys, you know. Just look at the details to that. You know, you'd honestly believe that these are die cast, but they're not. You know, they have got movement in them, in sort of here, though I do believe, or it does feel sort of slightly thingy, like the legs or something on the legs could have been die cast, but really feeling them, I don't think they are. Yeah, but they do have that thing to them, and the look is really, really well done, you know. I mean, that is phenomenally gorgeous how much detail is in this thing. You know, I want to see, just 2 seconds. Let's see if that's any better for you guys. I've actually just, as you can see from the top corner here, I've just put my light on, so you can see part of the ring thing there. Just shining a bit more light onto them, because it's starting to get a little bit, even though it's only sort of about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun actually goes round, and it's now at the back end of me man cave, so you can't really sort of see it as much. But look at this, guys, and just look at it. It is a really good, absolutely fantastic amount of detail to what's on there. Now, anyway, as you can see, that this thing can move up on its own to allow you more motion, but the actual uniform is pulling the shoulder back down, so you can actually move this around it to give you this chance to position it better. It does have the bicep twist, though again the uniform itself will sort of try and twist it back. Yeah, you see it there, that the uniform just keeps trying to sort of twist itself back into that position, but you can tweak it enough to get it. Yeah, he does come with the fisted hands on straight away for me anyway, because I got it on second-hand market. Yeah, so he does have a nice enough range of motion on the shoulders. Same with this one, you know, the thing can come up and put it back down, and again, it's all to do with the actual creases in here that you've got to be careful of. You're not going to get much waist bend because of this plastic thing here. The actual legs itself, it's just have to move my camera angle slightly better for you so you can see. So what we've got legs wise is there's not really much range of motion forward, because this piece here is stopping it, so you're not getting any sort of much more than like a walk style thingy forward with it, which is a bit of a shame. Let's shift this cape around this side so we can see backwards. Again, not much of a motion because that's pulling. Again, on this front piece here, it's getting pulled, so you're not getting much of a range back over at all. Get a good range of motion on the leg, so you can see there it's like it pulls, but you can sort of move that to try and position it and look, because they're in 3 separate pieces, or 2 separate pieces for those to click into the actual leg joints. Straighten it back up again. Ankle wise, you've got ankle pivot back and forwards. You've got a little bit of side to side, as you can see there. Let's get them up so you can see a bit better. That's be a bit more professional about it, Mark. There you go. And it does have toe motion, see? Yeah, I've got a bit of toe pivot there to give you a thingy. Though it's more down than it is up, you still do have the range of motion in the toes. Now that the only issue that I have with stuff like this can be the ankles go fairly quickly, especially with the weight of a character like this, which means to get them to stand up on their own can become a little bit more difficult. But this guy is doing it, thankfully, so that's not too bad. So the head sculpt wise, guys, the actor Michael Shannon, damn good actor, and played the part really, really well. And I think the head sculpt is pretty damn close. I mean, you're not gonna get too much closer than what this one looks like, you know. I think it's pretty damn good on the whole. Range of motion do I have? You can look up a little bit, not loads. You can look down enough, again, not particularly loads. We do have that slight side to side action going on, but that's to do with moving of the head up slightly. And like I say, head sculpt wise, it's pretty damn good. The only thing I think is slightly off is possibly the fact is that it makes his head sort of look slightly too wide almost. You know, but other than that, I think that's a damn good head sculpt. You know, and I like the expression that's on his face, because he was an angry character. You know, wanting basically do nothing more than to sort of get Superman, you know, and hurt him for what happened. Let's put that back down, make it look a little bit more presentable, these. So that this head, this extra head that we're talking about, this is where we can see, okay, what I was talking about with this head. You put it side by side wise, and it's like almost like looks about the right size for it. But when you look at it going, I mean, look, you can see that the actor's head is far wider than the actual helmet. Yeah, excuse me, I'm catching the camera and it's giving it a bit of a shake. You can see, you know, that is far wider than the actual actor's head. You know, which just really makes it sort of weird, because how the hell was that helmet going to be on his head without crushing his head? You know, that's what I'm coming from it. I'm gathering, like, right, okay, so was he getting his head crushed when he was wearing the damn thing? You know, so why didn't they make that slightly wider to make it look like it was the same size as his head? You know, you will be able to just, I suppose, pop his head off and pop that on if you want, which we'll have a look at now for you guys. And there you go, guys, that's with the sort of helmeted head on him. You can see it looks great, yeah, but it is sort of very, very narrow compared to when you're seeing his head on him. Yeah, so his head would be getting crushed in that thing, because you can see it's just, you know, the differences in these things is incredible. You know, how much sort of wider his head is compared to the helmet. They should have really took a bit more notice of that than he made his head a bit thinner, which I already said his head looked like it was slightly too wide for the character anyway. Yeah, so they should have made his head slightly narrower and it wouldn't have been so bad, but that is a big issue with it. You know, luckily for me, I mean, I'll probably position him with this head on rather than the helmeted one. But it does go to prove to you guys that they have got a bit of an issue with that. You know, that has been sort of slightly wrongly done. But other than that, I mean, this to me is one wicked ass looking figure. But again, it's not one I've really been that sort of bothered about, but it is nice. It is nice. It is really, really detailed compared to a lot of figures I've seen, you know. I mean, I've seen a lot of figures. I've bought a lot of figures recently, you know, and to me, he has a great deal of detail in him. Though again, because of some of the issues with, like I said, this bit here, it causes an issue with him having any sort of motion to him whatsoever. You know, you can move his arms up slightly, and you can lift his shoulders up slightly, which is quite canny. I'm not sure what the range of motion forward is. Let's have a look at what we've got with the going forward type motion. Again, it's not a bad range. It's just that you've got the issue with nipping, which you can't really see when you've got this down. But you will have the nipping of the uniform under there, which if you left it up in that type of angle for a while, could end up knacking the uniform and making it a lot harder for it to sort of stretch back out again, you know. So, and I don't really like sort of stand them up in like what you call a museum pose, you know. I'm just not that type of guy. I want to have them looking like they're doing something, you know. And again, you can see now already I'm having that issue of trying to get him to stand up on his own, because his ankles, he wants to fall forward on his ankles, you know, which is not good. That's one of the things I do not like when I've got this with that. To me, they should just make the ankles slightly tougher to move. I'd rather have them slightly tougher than go to the point of being really, really slack and having a difficulty thing, because I don't really want to use stands, you know. I'm not particularly a good thingy one for using stands. I will when I have to, but I don't want to, you know. I want them to stand up on their own. This one I may end up having to use his stand literally to hold him up. But there you go, guys. That is General Zod, and I think out of the three characters, General Zod, Kal-El and Superman himself, I think that one's the better casted one, the better materialistic one, the one that looks better for it. You know, I really do like this one out of all of the three figures that I've got. This one, to me, it has the more detail to it. And there we go, guys. I think that's pretty damn good. I like that. It's probably how I'll display it for a bit. You can see, obviously, in order to get that, I've had to use the flight stands, because there's no way would I have him be able to pick Superman up with the way his ankles were. You know, it would have been nice if they'd been really tough thingy. I may have been able to do it, but the way his ankles are, there was not a cat and hell's chance of that going to happen. Yeah, what we've got is this just little bit of diorama going on, where he's literally picked Superman up off the ground, flying in the air. He's just about to give the old smackdown on Superman, with his father in the background watching on. And I know some bugger is going to jump on me, because I'm sure before, when I mentioned about his father, I called him Kal-El when it's not, it's Jor-El. I do apologise for that, guys. I am not much up on the terminologies like that. Yeah. But hell, I'm going to display them, something similar to that. If I've got the room somewhere to put them, they may end up having to go into a detail rather than on a shelf, because I don't think the shelves have got enough room to fit these size of bases on, you know. My shelves, I don't think I've got in anywhere near that room. You can see there, you know, the size of my shelving will not fit them on, so it looks like they'll end up having to go into a detail, so I'm going to end up having to make some room in a detail to fit them in. There we go, guys. I've actually had to put them on a shelf, the highest corner of the room that I can get. I mean, you can see, look, the bases are hanging over. I'm going to be so damn careful that they don't fucking fall off there. But they actually wouldn't fit in the detail. I did try, but it's just they're not made for going in detail, swing that up like that. And I really do like the idea of posing them like that. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, then maybe think about putting a like on for us. If you didn't, then hey, dislike. Comment if you wish. And guys, I will catch you in the next one. This is the Bearded Nerdy Oaf, and I am out of here.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
Thank you?
You're welcome.
What? No. I didn't. I wasn't. Why would I ever say that? I mean,
Okay.